The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie. In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News Today.
With strong winds and thunderstorms on the way, Austin leaders are advising construction crews secure work sites. This video we're showing you here is of that last round of severe weather we saw a couple weeks ago. The wind's so strong that construction debris from 24 stories high fell and hit a cyclist in Austin's West Campus, and that man died last week from his injuries. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Tom Miller.
And I'm Erica Brennis in for Sally Hernandez. So the city is being very clear about securing construction materials and in zones before the rainfall begins. This is also to prevent flooding all around Austin by keeping things from blocking the drainage systems. Meteorologist Kristen Curry joins us now. So Kristen, how severe are we talking with this forecast?
I think later on tonight, that severe risk is certainly going to be something to watch. Anything we see during the day is going to have a hard time reaching those levels, but we still need to take it seriously. Our clouds and radar right now showing clouds out west, couple showers getting real close to San Saba County. And we do have a chance for some rain through this morning, but it's not until later on tonight do we start talking more mean thunderstorms. Live look outside from our Indeed domain camera showing a cloudy sky overhead, but those clouds helping to trap some of the heat. Our temperature is significantly warmer compared to what we walked out the door to yesterday. I'm seeing 60s all across the board here. You compare those numbers to where we were yesterday at this time, and that's a good 10 to about 15 degree warm up. Some of us even closer to 20 degrees warmer over the past 24 hours. As far as the afternoon numbers go, we'll still likely get close to 80 degrees. Reason is some of this cloud cover this morning will clear some into the early afternoon. There's going to be a couple rounds of storms we'll be watching for, not only for the showers this morning, but a few isolated storms possible early afternoon, and then we get into the main event, which will come along a cold front later on tonight. So coming up in your first warning forecast, I'm going to spend most of my time talking you through that main line of storms, going hour by hour through the night, tracking when we can see some of those stronger, potentially even severe storms. We've got some problematic winds through the day today, and the winds get real bad tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be one of those yucky days. It's cold, it's windy. We'll get a little bit of sunshine later on in the day, but the clouds will dominate, and uncomfortably cold temperatures will actually hang on through the weekend. So a lot to discuss in your first warning forecast. Look for those details here the next time I see you.
Thank you, Kristen. People who need help with their rent and utility bills have until noon today to apply for the Texas Rent Relief Program.
Yesterday, we were told the portal closes on the 28th of this month, but the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs announced it exceeded its funding only 24 hours after reopening applications, so it's actually going to be closing early. The Texas Rent Relief Program is meant to help those facing eviction. 70,000 people applied in just one day. That's the most the program has ever seen in that span of time. For comparison, the highest volume the department has seen before this round of applications was 20,000 back in 2021. A more than 2,000-acre industrial park in San Marcos could soon be breaking ground on construction.
And developers say that they chose this location because of all that growth in the area. It's called the SMART Terminal. SMART is an acronym standing for San Marcos Air, Rail, and Truck. San Marcos originally approved the development in 2019. The land covering an area shown here in the light blue color. But neighbors are worried about how it's going to impact those who call this place home.
We have a lot of trailer homes out here. Some of those people cannot afford to move.
Developers are asking the city to annex parts of that land to be rezoned for heavy industrial use.
Going in depth, Hays County is growing. The latest census numbers from 2021 show more than 250,000 people live in Hays County. In 2011, it was about 163,000. San Marcos does have its own regional airport, and it too is seeing demand grow as Central Texas grows. Right now, the airport offers cargo operations and services private planes.
More people are going to gather today rallying against bills that could affect transgender people. Equality Texas and the Transgender Education Network of Texas will be speaking out against bills that could end life-saving health care for trans people. Comes as the bills will be talked about in a committee around 9:30 this morning. The rally is expected to start at 10.
Today, you have a chance to learn more about your safety while out in Austin. The Downtown Austin Alliance will hold a safety forum this morning. It wants to give insight on how to be safe during spring festivals and our many other events. The virtual meeting starts at 8:30 today. Fighter jets acting with aggression toward a U.S. drone. The new update from U.S. officials on who approved the actions.
And changes coming to public transportation in a Central Texas city. Why some believe it could leave them without a way to get where they need to be. Good morning. It is a live look out here on this Thursday, and you can see Q2 Stadium there as we take a peek up in North Austin from our Indeed Domain Tower camera. Some international news here, and Russian leaders pre-approved the aggressive actions of Russian military fighter jets against a U.S. military drone. This new update coming from 3 U.S. officials familiar with the intelligence. The Russian jets dropped jet fuel on the drone. 2 of those officials said the intent seemed to be to throw off the drone off course, disable its surveillance capabilities. Russia says the U.S. came too close to its borders, while the U.S. says the drone was in international airspace.
The United States could ban TikTok. A spokesperson for the popular app says the Biden administration is demanding that TikTok be sold, or that it could ban it in the U.S. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. has examined whether U.S. data is properly safeguarded. Critics of the app are concerned about the safety of Americans' data on TikTok. Here in Texas, the governor has already ordered state agencies to ban the app on state-issued devices.
Back here in Austin, some of the best pickleball players in the world are here right now. The Professional Pickleball Association will hold a tournament today through Sunday.
Wonder when they're going to be in the Olympics one day, right?
It's probably right around the corner.
12 of the highest ranked players are competing for the top spot. The winner gets a $238,000 grand prize.
Not bad for playing in a tournament. We told you pickleball is growing big time in popularity here in Austin. According to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association, the game grew in popularity by 40% over the last couple of years. It is currently played by nearly 5 million people in the U.S.
I believe it.
Costly plan to get people off the streets, the security needed to prevent these expenses in the future, and how this could impact you as a taxpayer.
All right, America's favorite dog breed. It's actually changed. What dog is now top dog?
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
Good Thursday morning. It is 4:43. Wanted to give you a quick heads up. There is a crash reported on westbound Ben White Boulevard. It's right before you get to that cutoff for 360 or the exit for South Lamar. So there are some delays. Wasn't able to pull up a TxDOT camera. This is the TxDOT camera at 290 and Burger Center. So in that vicinity, but just a heads up, westbound Ben White near South Lamar, there is a crash.
Round Rock plans to change part of its public transportation. The city council weighing in on this next week.
As KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez reports, the city says it will help a lot of people, but some worry it's leaving them without a way to get around.
Every Monday and Wednesday, Karen Choate comes to this senior center in Round Rock.
We have the camaraderie and a community, and we care about each other more than just playing the game.
Health problems left her with vision problems, so she's used this paratransit shuttle to get where she needed to go. But it will run its final route soon.
Paratransit people need the services because of our disabilities.
City of Round Rock Transportation Director Gary Hutter says rearranging the city's paratransit services will happen mid-June.
The transit system has to continue to be modified and morphed to satisfy a rapidly growing community.
He says the change will cut just 6 people out of the city's route system. That's because they live just outside Round Rock city limit. To keep in line with federal ADA regulations, the city will instead offer a mobility on-demand service to those that qualify.
Unfortunately, as is always the case when we make changes on this scale and this magnitude, there are some folks that will no longer be available, have the service available to them.
Choate says she has other ways of making it to her regular domino games, but wishes there could be another way.
Obviously, you don't want just one person on a bus at a time. So I understand that need, but I think there's a way to work together.
In Round Rock, Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN News.
America has a new favorite dog breed. This is very rare that this ever happens. The first time in 31 years that it's switched. The American Kennel Club says the French Bulldog ousted Labs from the top spot of favorite breeds in the U.S. Stats are based on more than 716,000 puppies and other dogs newly registered last year. Frenchies, of course, they can be expensive, costing thousands of dollars if they do get sick, but these are some cute shots.
They are so cute. The French Bulldog Club of America says that they're comical, friendly, loving little dogs that offer a lot in a small package. Last year, there were about 108,000 newly registered French Bulldogs, surpassing Labs by more than 21,000.
So cute.
Look at those little guys.
And from personal experience, can you vouch? Are they comical, funny, and friendly?
Yes, they are. They're very sweet. My dog is a French Bulldog, obviously.
You're so on trend.
I'm so on trend. He, he's turned out to be a really good boy. I feel like when you get a dog, you're like just hoping, like, oh, I hope he's sweet.
Yeah, you never know.
I hope he's not. Yeah. And I feel like we've been very lucky.
And he's very pretty with his blue eyes.
Yes, he's a cutie for sure. Let me show you what's going on with your forecast here, because clouds and radar showing a lot of cloud cover and kind of some scattered light rain around. A lot of this up in North Texas. We've got nothing really falling here within Central Texas. This little clump here is just the northwest of San Saba, but we've got better rain chances on the way, so I'm not worried about it. Temperatures this morning currently sitting at 64 degrees. Humidity has increased in a very big way compared to what I showed you yesterday. South winds less than 10 right now. Those winds will pick up over the next 24 hours. Temperatures in the 60s area-wide, so everybody's feeling milder this morning. Looking at the rest of your day, those 60s turn to 70s by lunch, and we're getting back to the 80s today. 80 degrees, the forecast high here in Austin. I'll tell you, the rain chance is a little deceiving because you'll notice they're at 30 to 40% through this morning, and then they get back down to 10% through midday. This does not account for the main event, which is going to come in late tonight and largely overnight. So let's spend some time on the timing here, because if I put this into motion, you'll notice the spotty to scattered rain that we expect heading into the 8, 9, 10 a.m. hours. So some of us could have a few spots of wet weather for the morning drive. But then as we get into the early afternoon, clearing out west, couple of spotty showers, maybe even 1 or 2 isolated storms out in our eastern counties. This is going to be a dry line that's pushing through. However, that's just round one. Once we get past the afternoon hours and into the evening, we're going to be tracking this line of storms stretching from the northwestern hill country down into the Austin metro. But now we're approaching 10, 11 midnight. So most of this happens when a lot of us are asleep here. And some of these storms could be on the strong to severe side, moving into our eastern counties between about midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more behind that cold front here, but really along that initial line is where we have the highest severe weather risk, and that's going to be this scattered severe storm threat that we've got tonight, a 2 out of 5 risk that we'll be watching for pretty much all of our central Texas counties. That's going to be the severe storm threat. I'm really not expecting a whole lot in the way of flooding. It's a low risk east of I-35, but these storms are going to be moving pretty quick. Something to note, the wind gusts today are going to be noticeable. We've got winds through lunchtime, and then you'll notice once we get into tomorrow with that cold front coming in, these winds only get stronger, and I would not be surprised if we start to see some wind alerts go up because of how strong those winds are going to be behind the front. 7-day forecast, 80s today. We've got 50s and high winds tomorrow. So the wind chill still expected to be in the 20s and 30s tomorrow morning. Make sure you've got that heavy coat with you. A low chance for a few sprinkles heading into the weekend. Cold rain likely on Monday with temperatures down to the 40s. And then we've got those overnight lows in the 30s and 40s. Not expecting a freeze here in Austin, but we'll get pretty close to in the hill country, watching from maybe a couple snowflakes mixing in with the cold rain, but no major snow accumulation expected. Tom?
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
The Longhorn men open NCAA tournament play tonight against Colgate. UT coming off a Big 12 tournament title. And now this veteran team hopes to make a deep run in the big dance. Jonathan Thomas has more from Des Moines, Iowa.
Texas entered the season expecting to be here. They encountered unexpected drama, but through it all, they persevered not only to get to the big dance, but to become one of the big dogs in the tournament field. As the #2 seed in the Midwest region, they're not only seen as the favorites for this round, but quite a few analysts see the Horns as a team who can reach the Final Four. Those expectations usually are accompanied with pressure. However, that's not something that's fazing this veteran team, led by a coach who has been cool as can be throughout this crazy year.
You know, you give 20 minutes away in the NCAA tournament, it's going to be really hard for you to make that up. You know, so I think the thing we've tried to do is just, you know, we've tried to work every game for 40 minutes and understand you're going to have to play from the time that horn, you know, goes off the start to the time that horn goes off the end of the ball game. But you're working the game the entire time.
This year, winning the Big 12 tournament, that first practice back in Austin, we spoke about the importance of living in the moment. We won the Big 12. We'll have it for the rest of our lives. We're moving on to something bigger and trying to catch bigger fish.
You know, in life, you don't always get second chances, and I'm here my second time, so I'm obviously looking to capitalize. Coming back the second year, we always had big goals in mind, cutting down nets. We got one so far, and we're not looking to stop.
The tournament is the tournament. Every single team who's here, you know, deserves to be here. They're all good teams. So coming into the game, we're prepared to, you know, battle and compete with them at the highest level. I don't think it's pressure. I think we're preparing for this game as we prepared all season long. And yeah, sometimes the crowd does go for the underdog, but you know, that's just, it is what it is.
Colgate is definitely an underdog, but the Raiders have won 9 in a row, so they'll hope to prove to be the tough opponent that Texas is expecting. Tip-off is set for 6:25 p.m. From Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, I'm Jonathan Thomas. Back to you.
Following the Texas game tonight, Texas A&M is taking on Penn State, and the two winners will play each other Saturday for a trip to Kansas City and the Sweet 16. Erica.
Thanks, Tom. A multi-million-dollar plan to help house the homeless is going to cost Austin taxpayers even more. An item on next week's City Council agenda reveals that taxpayers will foot the bill for fixing up significant damage done to the former Candlewood Suites Hotel last year after someone broke in and damaged pipes. Crews spent just under $80,000 removing water and damaged parts of the building. Afterward, that break-in, Council member Mackenzie Kelly pushed the city for round-the-clock security.
My understanding is that there's someone there 24/7 in case something were to arise. Now, that said, I have heard complaints in the community about a lack of security there, and I've spoken with the police department to try and get some added patrols in the area.
The old Candlewood Suites is not the only location wrapped into that City Council agenda next week. The North Bridge shelter also had damage. It's going to cost the city more than $430,000 after 3 separate water damage incidents. That's a bridge shelter for the city's HEAL initiative. Going in depth as part of the 2018 voter-approved bond package, 3 hotels were included for acquisition. The expenditures from that bond ranged from more than $4.6 million up to $8.25 million. And that was just what was approved by the Austin Housing Finance Corporation of the properties from that specific bond. That does not include the cost to renovate them as shelters. In instances such as Candlewood Suites, the City Council ultimately voted to approve buying the property at over $9 million.
Take a look at this. Dead fish littering Shoal Creek in central Austin. The water also green in some areas. Austin Watershed Protection and the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality telling us they learned about this on Tuesday. City says a 12-inch water main broke near Shoal Creek Boulevard and Bull Creek Road. Austin Watershed telling us ahead of the repairs, it started a dechlorination process, which, though safe for humans, can hurt aquatic life. The water will be monitored until it all returns to normal.
We looked into this after a tip from a KXAN viewer, Matt Franks. If you'd like to check on something, if you'd like us to check on something, all you have to do is you scan this QR code on your screen right now, or you can send us an email at reportit@kxan.com.
Now down I-35 to San Antonio, where the zoo there will reopen today after a tree fell and hit 7 people, 2 adults, 5 children, and one of them badly hurt.
Scary. It happened just after noon yesterday, right in the middle of a busy spring break holiday. It may be hard to watch.
We hear it sounded like fireworks, a crackling noise.
That was Chris Ryan describing that scary moment. He was there with his family and his wife, and he took that video. The zoo says its emergency teams quickly responded and began treating guests, adding the police and fire department were there just within minutes.
Thanks for joining KXAN News today. You can also listen to KXAN News Nightly every weekday after 5:30 p.m. for in-depth coverage on what matters most to you.